the Pontiac Silverdome. Welcome to the Michigan High School Athletic Association State Football Finals. We are moments away from the Class BB championship game between Farmington Hills Harrison and the Chiefs of Cheboygan. I'm Mark Crawford, joined as always by my friend, the old coach, Bill Brandell, and William Harrison and Cheboygan. If folks like offense, they have come to the right place.
Well, Mark, you've hit it right on the head. You know, I've seen basketball teams that score less points than these two squads. They just like to light up the scoreboard. We should see plenty of scoring tonight on both sides of the ball here. It's not going to be just one team scoring and the other one kind of playing defense. I think you'll see lots of points on the scoreboard. You should see some exciting plays up and down the field.
And perhaps indicative of the kind of game we're going to have here. This evening, Farmington Hills Harrison wins the coin toss before this game, and unlike every one of the other 7 football championship games this year, they don't defer to the second half. Harrison says, give us the football.
Well, that's just an indication of how they think as far as football is concerned. They want the ball offensively. They want to put points on the board. They average 35 a game. Cheboygan on the other side, they average 31 a game. There's 66 points right there. As we said, we've seen basketball games with less points than that, so this should be a lot of fun.
The Harrison Hawks are dressed there in the white, trimmed in green and gold. The Cheboygan Chiefs are in the orange and black with the University of Michigan Wolverine helmets. A little different configuration than we've seen before.
Well, I don't think I've ever seen the Michigan wing used in 2 different colors. The stripes for Cheboygan are white on the black helmet. The helmet base is black, and then the wing style is in their orange. Kind of a sharp-looking outfit.
Harrison comes in at 12-0 on their season. The Cheboygan Chiefs are 10-2. John Harrington, the coach at Harrison, and Jack Kuhn is the head football coach at Cheboygan. Kind of a David and Goliath sort of a matchup. Harrison, everybody's #1 team. 11 times their program has found itself in the football playoffs. Cheboygan, despite that 10-2 record and despite 6 consecutive playoff appearances of their own, would certainly have to come in heavy underdogs.
Well, they certainly do not get the headlines and the notoriety that Harrison has gotten. And in the past years, we've seen some college players come out of the Harrison program, Mark, and one of your favorites up there at Michigan State, Milt Coleman. And that's just indicative, again, of the type of program, one of those classic schools that just seems to reload every year.
And yet, if you told Harrison coach John Harrington this is a David and Goliath game, he wouldn't buy it at all as he watched Cheboygan roll up 500-plus yards in offense in their semifinal game against Three Rivers. Cheboygan will boot it and get us underway, the Class BB State Championship game. Ball is dropped by Dante Anderson back at about the 20. Picks it up, skirts around the end, and has a nice return out near midfield.
Well, that started out as near disaster and ended up with a very fine run back and is going to provide great field position for the Hawks on their first offensive possession. You see the kickoff kind of fumbled and bobbled around right there, but then picked up. Good return. Dante Anderson finds the sidelines and pulls out of the tackle, heads upfield. Boy, the Hawks start right at the 50-yard line, first possession.
Andy Fitzpatrick, 6'4", 200 pounds, and a senior is your quarterback. And there's the star tailback, Roy Granger. Turns the corner, might have 6 on the first play of the game. Roy Granger, 51 yards for the touchdown.
Well, as we said, we were going to see some offense tonight. I guess we were not wrong. Roy Granger, the first offensive play from the 50-yard line. He takes it to his offensive right side, takes it just off tackle, sees some open room to the outside, and turns on the jets. And Roy Granger on his way, 50 yards, 6 points for the Hawks.
Ben Pinsky is on now to boot the extra point. It's blocked. Coming right up the middle for Cheboygan. Looked like number 63, this one 6-0.
Well, if you're wondering once again about John Harrington and should I take the ball to open the ball game and start my offense on the field, I guess this will answer that question in a hurry. Roy Granger, the senior, he's 5'8" and 155 pounds, and he is quick.
Well, we heard he was fast coming in. We weren't told exactly what kinds of times he's run for the 40 or the 100-yard dash or who knows what, but you can see some great speed as Granger turns it on. 51 yards. We played 23 seconds in this ball game, and it's Harrison's 6 and Cheboygan's turn.
Goodness. As you and I talked about this one, Mark, we did figure that we'd see a lot of scoring tonight. Just simply a matter of Cheboygan coming in and trying to keep up scoring-wise with Harrison. Harrison's defense doesn't get the headlines, but they are very stingy. Give up only about 6 points a ball game.
Kick is going to bounce at about the 20. Is fielded by Proctor. And his return out to about the 36-yard line where Cheboygan will start with good field position. Tom Triban, 5'11", 160-pound junior, will start at quarterback. And if Farmington Hills Harrison has the speedster in Roy Granger, the Cheboygan Chiefs have the Mack truck in Shannon Scarborough. 6'3", 225, a senior. He has rushed for more than 2,000 yards this season. I don't recall seeing a 2,000-yard rusher before in Michigan high school. They give to Scarborough and flags fly, and that play's not going to count. Little early motion against Cheboygan. There is Shannon Scarborough.
Well, as you look at his totals, Mark, over 2,000 yards, 2,137, I believe, works out to about 178 yards a game rushing. Man, that's a team statistic. That's not one player.
You know, usually when you see big numbers for a football team, you see them from the tailback. And Shannon Scarborough is the fullback. Going to be 1st and 15 for Cheboygan.
Well, Cheboygan will give you some changes in their offensive set. Line up in the eye and then go either direction with it.
Going to throw the ball. Incomplete.
Almost intercepted out there.
2 number 5s in the area. I think it was intended for Dennis Proctor, and Dante Anderson was there on the coverage and almost had the pick. It'll be 2nd down, 15.
Well, Dante Anderson comes from his defensive safety position and cuts in front of the intended receiver. Had his hands on the ball, juggled it a little bit, kind of rolled it around behind his back, but could not hang on to it. Goes as an incomplete pass, but we could have seen lightning again. And there's our look through our helmet camera. That's what it looks like for a player to look out on the field or to be in this ball game. You're peeking out of a football helmet.
A little counter action to Jeremy Beauchamp. And he picks up 5-6 yards out to the 38-yard line where it'll be 3rd down and still about 8. Scarborough has better than 2,000 yards. Beauchamp, the number 2 back, has almost 800 yards.
Well, I was just going to say, Mark, that Beauchamp kind of stands in the shadow of Scarborough, but he's no slouch himself. 11 touchdowns, 800 and some yards.
The average is about 7 yards a carry. 3rd down, 8.
There you see the original eye. It'll end up being some form of a wing T as the backs will move.
Like the slot tee this time, and there's Scarborough. 1st down and bowls into Harrison territory down to the 41.
Well, Greg Piskopink on the stop for the Hawks. But that's some of the explosive power of Shannon Scarborough right up the middle.
Well, that had to be a big play for the Cheboygan Chiefs in terms of their mental attitude here after watching Harrison take it down and score quickly. I think the Chiefs needed to get a 1st down there, keep the football, and prove to themselves that they belong in this ball game with Harrison.
Well, the Chiefs have got to stay even offensively as their defense a little bit suspect and a very young defensive squad as they start just 4 seniors on that defense, 5 juniors, 2 sophomores. So very young defensive squad. They've given up about 14 points a ball game, given up a lot of yardage. So they've depended on their offense to win ball games.
Chiefs go 1st and 10 from the 41 of Farmington Hills Harrison. That's Beauchamp. He'll pick up 2 down to the 39 of Harrison. Clock shows 9:10 still to play in this first quarter of action. Farmington Hills Harrison scored on their first play from scrimmage. 51-yard run by Roy Granger. The extra point was blocked. And now it's the Chiefs of Cheboygan on their first possession.
Well, some big beef up front for the Hawks as at the nose and making that last tackle, number 72, Leon Jefferson, 6'1", 265 pounds, a nose man.
2nd down 8. Little motion look this time. Beauchamp on the carry has about 6. He's inside the 35 and down to the 33 of Harrison. It'll be 3rd down and a couple.
Nice bit of forward running there by Beauchamp as he finds the seam. Gets into the secondary, brought down by Greg Piskapink.
Scarborough
solid tackle.
Scarborough took the fake bill, and 3 or 4 white jerseys hit him immediately. Third down 2. And Scarborough spins and won't get there. Might have a yard, but it's going to be 4th down and still a good long 1, maybe 2 yards to go.
Well, pretty tough going up there. Jason Gletschner this time on the stop from a defensive tackle position. He's 6'3", 252 pounds. His brother plays a linebacker, his twin brother, Mike Gletschner. He's 6'3", 242 pounds. Boy, Harrison just keeps coming at you. Where do they get these monsters?
4th down 2, Cheboygan will go. I don't think that Scarborough got there, but there are flags all over the field, and I think the Chiefs are going to be called for motion.
Well, the small linebacker in on that stop, Mark, Mike Pacey. He's only 6'2" and 205 pounds. He's just the little guy in there.
Pacey had 22 tackles in the regional final. Tell you, when I first saw that number, I thought it had to be his dad keeping track or something. That is a ton of tackles.
Ton of tackles, right.
They're going to measure. I don't see the flags out anymore. Did they pick up the flags, Bill?
Well, I'm not sure. I saw the flag when the play started. There you see an illegal shift indicated against the Chiefs.
Well, they were measuring, I guess, just so Harrison would know what the options were, I guess. As if you're a Harrison player, you might want to turn it down, I suppose, if they had failed to get the first down. But since they get the first, you take the 5 yards and make them run 4th down again. This time 4th down and 6. And let's see if it's still 4th and go for Cheboygan.
Well, it's 4th and extremely long 6. It's more like 7 or 8.
Can't tell if they're going to go or punt. The punter is Shannon Scarborough. He's standing only about 7-8 yards back of the line, and they snap right through the quarterback's legs. Scarborough, a high kick, bounces at the 10. Great hop, and will be down right there by Cheboygan.
There's the classic example of the pooch kick and a punt from a little different formation, Mark, than we've seen in the past. As you mentioned, the quarterback right up under center. The long snap goes between the quarterback's leg and to a short punter. In this case, he just pooches the ball, tries to kick it high, tries to get it to bounce right at about the 10-yard line and stop right there. And in this case, 100% perfect.
Here comes Harrison, 1st and 10 from their own 10, midway through quarter number 1. Just their second play from scrimmage. Their first went for a touchdown. Same back, and he's got about 10 yards this time. Roy Granger picking and weaving his way forward. Carries to about the 20, and very near the first down sticks. It is a first down, say the officials.
Well, that first offensive possession for the Hawks was over in such a hurry. We didn't get a chance to set a lot of their offense, but up front, Mark, they've got some monsters once again. The 2 tackles, number 77, Mike Story, 6'7", 280. On the other side, number 75, Jason Gletchner, he's 6'3", 252. He goes both ways. Big people.
Pitches outside to Granger, and a great play defensively by Jeremy Beauchamp. Caught off the blocker, cut off the outside path for Granger and makes the tackle.
Well, Granger gets the pitch from quarterback Andy Fitzpatrick, tries to get outside, but Jeremy Beauchamp, right where he belongs, makes good penetration across the line of scrimmage, holds contain, and makes the tackle besides. Good bit of defense that time by the Chiefs.
Loss is 2. It'll be 2nd down 12 for Harrison. Granger again, running room. Spins, bounces off people, and is very near the first down. Roy Granger stopping and starting and getting turned. And
well, he is starting out on fire here in this first quarter. Very difficult to get a hand on. He's not a super big guy, only 5'8", 155 pounds, but very quick feet. Has the ability to make that lateral move and make a defender miss.
Granger 4 carries for 71 yards here in this first quarter. They're going to throw. Incomplete. Good coverage over there by Dennis Proctor as he arrives at the same time the football does. And it'll be 2nd down 10.
Well, here you'll see the pass delivered on the little out route. Intended, I believe, for number 4, Greg Piskapink, but Dennis Proctor right there defensively coming at full speed and arrives at exactly the same moment the ball did. Once again, good defense by the Chiefs.
This will be Granger again. And another big gainer all the way out near midfield. We do have a flag. Occurred right at the 35-yard line as you watch the run, and probably a clip of some kind. And it is. This one will come back.
Well, a nice bit of running by Roy Granger once again, but credit some blocks out there. Obviously, we had one that was illegal, but some good blocking out in front as nobody laid a hand on Granger that time until he was well up the field.
Come on, D!
Phil Long, our referee from Swartz Creek, gives you the call. Clipping against Farmington Hills Harrison. They'll go 2nd down and about 19. Fitzpatrick to throw. He eludes the pressure and has Granger in the flats. Makes one guy miss. And speeds near the first down sticks.
Well, I'll tell you, this guy is something else. Here we'll see some good pressure put on quarterback Andy Fitzpatrick. He eludes that on-rusher. Jason Kronk putting pressure on, delivers the ball over there to Roy Granger, and Roy Granger just jukes around one of the Chief defenders there. Boy, seen that type of running on Thanksgiving Day out of Barry Sanders and a week ago. Same type of moves.
3rd down in the yard. Granger has the first and carries out to the 45 where it's 1st and 10. Well, Roy Granger has the unique distinction, number 2 right there, as he limps a little bit. Has the unique distinction of playing on state football championship teams with 2 different schools. He was with DePoras as a freshman and won a state title, with Harrison when they won their last title as a sophomore. Carry this time by Mike Pacey, and he's got about 5 yards, carries to the 49-yard line. Make it 3 yards, it'll be second down 7. Granger has taken a seat on the far side over there, and they're looking at, I think, his ankle.
Well, obviously it would be a great loss for the Hawks if he is unable to return.
Boy, is that an understatement. Second down 7. Second back through was Pacey again. Across midfield and down into Cheboygan Chief territory. And it'll be third down and still about 2.
Jason
was wrong.
Kronk.
That's Haney. Haney on the carry.
Jason Kronk on the stop from his nose position. Good lateral movement that time.
There's Chad Haney, a 205-pound senior. Third down 2. Possession play for Harrison. They want to throw and the pressure's coming. And down goes Fitzpatrick.
Well, and there on the stop, put a highlight or sidelight we might mention in this particular ball game, Mark. Playing a defensive tackle for the Chiefs is number 44, Shannon Scarborough. He's the 2,000-yard rusher in the backfield. When was the last time you saw a 2,000-yard rusher on offense playing a defensive tackle position on defense?
Well, he gets the sack right there. It'll be fourth down, and Harrison will be forced to punt. Key Smith. And Scarborough bangs into him, but no foul, say the officials. This one bounces back inside the 15. Boy, Jeremy Beauchamp thought about it, and finally let it go.
He was standing around watching that one bounce around a little bit, saying to himself, should I? Well, maybe I will. On second thought.
Boy, Granger trots back out onto the field for Harrison to play defense. Not limping, so it would appear to be okay. But Cheboygan has the football, starting first and 10 at their own 14. 6-0 is our score. Harrison leads with 1:40 still to play in the first quarter. Mark Crawford and Bill Brandell, glad you're with us at the Silverdome Class BB State Championship game. Tom Triban sets the offense, gives off to Beauchamp, who's forward for about 3, maybe 4 yards. 7 state champions have been crowned. Frankfort, East Lansing, Muskegon Catholic Central, Monroe, St. Mary's Catholic Central, Mendon, Saginaw, Arthur Hill, and Penfield have all won titles. The only one remaining to be settled, Harrison and Cheboygan. Second down 7 for Cheboygan. Tom Triban's pass intended over here for Scott Tracy, but incomplete. And it'll be third down and still about 7. I would say the Cheboygan Brain Trust has picked up something defensively that tells them running Shannon Scarborough is not going to work right now until they loosen up the defense a little bit.
Well, there's a pack of big-sized people right in the middle of that Hawk defense. And those people are going to have to be treated to some plays to the outside and maybe some pass plays, as you said, Mark. Well, maybe they will stop concentrating quite so much on Shannon Scarborough coming up the middle.
That's Scarborough high-stepping through a player and fighting his way almost to the first down, but stopped a yard or two short, and it'll be fourth down.
Leon Jefferson, I believe, once again down there at the nose. Nope, it's number 32, Mike Pacey in there. Gets a piece of him. Takes about 3 or 4 people to get a piece of him to bring big Shannon Scarborough to the ground.
6'3", 225 pounds and a senior.
Let's go, Chiefs! Let's go, Chiefs!
And he will stand now in punt formation. They always put quarterback Tom Triban right up there behind the center and snap between his legs. And kind of a one-step punt. Back to receive it is Granger. And his return of 10 or 12 yards gives Harrison good field position. 1st and 10 at the 44 of Cheboygan.
Well, that guy is just scary every time he puts his hand on the ball.
First quarter has come to a close here at the Silverdome. An electric start as the first play from scrimmage saw Roy Granger bolt 51 yards for a touchdown. The extra point attempt for Harrison was blocked. 6-0 our score at that point, and although both clubs have managed to move the ball a little bit, the defenses have held. Other than that one score, it's Harrison 6-0 as we head to period number 2.
Well, we expected a real high-scoring ball game as both of these clubs come in with an awful lot of offense. And as you mentioned, Mark, the first play we see from scrimmage goes 50 yards and a touchdown for Roy Granger. And the Hawks are on the scoreboard with 6 points. And we see the Chiefs of Cheboygan take over offensively. They show us some great offense also. Let's take one more look here at Roy Granger. This is a thing of beauty. Little pitch play, comes off tackle inside the end, then dips back outside, and now it's off to the races as Roy Granger turns on the jets, finds the sideline, finds nobody there, all the way to the end zone, and that's the score, 6-0 right now.
1st and 10, this is Granger again trying to turn the corner, knocked out of bounds after 15 yards. And Roy Granger is going to have the century mark here early.
Well, once again, the little pitch play, very similar to the play that Granger scored on. This time he dips inside, but then goes back outside, does not go between the end and tackle. Just starts racing the cornerback and the safety to the corner, turns upfield, legs it down the sideline, picks up the first down.
6 carries, 92 yards for Roy Granger, and you remember he had a 17-yard carry called back. 1st and 10 Harrison. Granger again. 3 or 4 yards before the defense bends him back. Norm Kitchen, I think number 43, the man that had hold of him and drove him to the turf. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Just underway, 2nd quarter.
Well, as I watch Roy Granger out there, Mark, he's got some kind of a streamer hanging out of the back of his pants there. It's a green ribbon or something. I have to try and figure out what that is.
Looks like he's playing flag football. Used to be some rules against that kind of thing. There comes Granger, left side. Slips down. Well, trying to put the little move on Dennis Proctor there. Lost his footing.
Well, Ross Dingwall, our statistician, says it's just a streamer. I don't know what it is either. But you can see it flapping in the breeze there, and when he gets the jets turned on, it just kind of floats around out there behind him. I don't know if you grab that, what happens?
There it is.
Is that like a ripcord or something?
I don't know. 3rd down and a couple. Looks like something you'd wear to play flag football. Granger has the first. Nice interior run by Roy Granger down to the 11, 1st down. And that should carry him across the 100-yard mark here with 10.5 still to play in the first half.
Well, Granger coming out of that power eye, the tailback position. He's got that nice big offensive line up in front of him, and then he's got 2 lead backs that pick up anything that might stray in there after the offensive line has made their initial contact. Finds a nice seam. Granger appears to be a back that can run inside and outside, and of course that makes it just doubly tough to put a stop on him.
Boy, he looks great here in this first half of play. There he comes again, this time right side. Slips down inside the 5, will be marked at the 3. Well, he went down with an ankle problem not long ago, and that's twice we've seen him go down, and I wonder if maybe that ankle's just given out on him, Bill.
Well, this little pitch play right here has been very effective for him as he gets the ball deep. You're right, good shot there by our camera people as you're able to see that leg just give away. Granger diving for his last few yards out there, but just could not make the good strong cut right there.
2nd and 3. Granger fights down toward the 1. The first down sticks are at the 1, so Harrison could pick up a first down without scoring. And this will be very close. Granger 11 carries, 119 yards already. Great shot down the goal line. You can see just how close it is.
Well, once again, we have to credit the people up front. We're calling Granger's number and giving him all the accolades here, but some great people up front. Mike Story, John Spies, Fred Klotzer, Frank Ancowley, Jason Gletchner. Those are the big guys in the middle in there, and they have done some yeoman's work opening some nice holes and walling off any kind of pursuit so that Roy Granger can make those big yards.
1st and goal for Harrison. They'll get 4 cracks if they need them from the 1.
I have a feeling they're not going to need him.
Andy Fitzpatrick, the quarterback, is a 6'4", 200-pounder. Might just change up himself. Doesn't. Gives to his dive back, and it's a touchdown. Into the end zone goes Mike Pacey, the 205-pound senior. And it's 12-0 Harrison.
Well, a nice payday for Mike Pacey as he's able to pick up the 6 points for the Hawks. He's one of those lead backs that has been blocking up front for his teammate Roy Granger. They get the ball down by the goal line and elect to give it to big Mike Pacey as he drives it right up the middle, comes inside, powerful runner himself, and puts 6 points on the board for the Hawks.
And having missed their first extra point try, Harrison will go for 2. Fitzpatrick rolls, will take it in himself. Boy, they were dragging him down from behind, but Fitzpatrick stuck the arm out and got the football over the goal line, converts the 2. Harrison 14, Cheboygan nothing.
Well, Andy Fitzpatrick rolls out as though he's looking for a pass receiver. I think the play originally was a pass. He elects to run the ball, and I think he does not realize how fast and how quick the players are closing behind him as he starts to ease up just a little bit as he goes into the end zone. It's Shannon Scarborough that grabs him from behind and grabs him by the jersey. But quarterback Andy Fitzpatrick, at 6'4", is able to fall forward and force the ball over the goal line for the 2 points for the Hawks. That makes it 14-0.
Shannon Scarborough has been everywhere for Cheboygan. He's their 2,000-yard rusher on offense, making tackles on defense. I don't know, a young man may have a future as a linebacker in college football. Harrison will boot it away, as you see, 9:06 still to play here first half. Class BB state championship game. They lead 14-0. Proctor fields the football. He is out across the 25 to about the 27-yard line. And Cheboygan will go 1st and 10. Bill, back to the Harrison touchdown for just a moment here as folks watch the replay of the return. And tell me the truth now, as an old coach, Mike Pacey's 1-yard touchdown run, is that simply a little change up by the Harrison coaching staff, or do you as a coach sometimes give a young man a touchdown just to reward him for the work he's doing blocking?
Well, I think exactly that. As I mentioned, that young man has been one of those lead blockers out of the Power I. And of course, the headlines go to the guy with all the touchdowns and all the yards, but a lot of time those yards are gained because some other individual is giving up his body in order for those holes to be open. And I think it is. It's a little payday. Of course, Mike Pacey, no slouch at all as far as a back is concerned, but doesn't have the big numbers. Only 4 touchdowns coming into this ball game. Averages 6 yards when he carries the ball, but basically his position is one as a blocking back.
Nice keeper by Tom Triban. Cheboygan's first down nets him 6 yards. And again, it was the fake to Shannon Scarborough that drew the defense. And Tryban with a nice little hook keeper of his own. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Cheboygan gives on the dive this time to Scarborough. The defense is there. Little gain. Going to be 3rd down and a long 2.
Well, Scarborough certainly draws a crowd when he gets that ball in there, Mark. As we watched him unpile, there were at least 8 white jerseys that got off of the pile. When he gets the ball, there's a defensive team meeting wherever he is.
4 carries, 29 yards for Shannon Scarborough so far. And a big 3rd down 2 play for Cheboygan. They trail 14-0 and need to mount a little drive, get some offense going, and put some points on the board. Right side, some running room for Jeremy Beauchamp. Across the 40, out to the 42, 7 yards on the carry, good for a 1st down.
Well, let's give some credit for some nice offensive blocking up front for the Chiefs. Jamie Swanson, Steve Konecki, Matt Horrocks, Jeremy Polenz, and Bob Dykeman.
That offensive line for Cheboygan, 6'1", 205. A man. Beauchamp now 5 carries, 25 yards for Cheboygan. And it's Beauchamp again. Has maybe a couple of yards. Very quick faking in there by Tryban.
Come on, guys!
Defensively, Rip Wolf from his defensive end spot inside to make the tackle. Nice position that time by Rip Wolf as he stepped across defensively. Once again, he's responsible for the containing, but able to come back inside after he makes sure things cannot go outside and helps on the tackle on an inside play.
Nice name for a defensive end, didn't it? Rip Wolf.
I like that.
I like that too. 2nd down 8 for Cheboygan. Tryban looks to throw. The pressure's coming, and he's going to have to simply skate out of bounds. Loss of about 5 or 6 on the play. Coming hard for Harrison was John Spiz, number 55, among others. There's Spiz, and chasing him, number 50 there, Fred Klotzer. Nowhere to go for Tom Tryban.
Jason Dwechner right there also, another one of those big guys, 252 pounds. I think I'd get out of bounds too if that was coming.
Tough spot now, 3rd down 15 facing Cheboygan. And of course the last thing on their agenda is to give the football back to Farmington Hills Harrison. Tryban will throw, has a man Scarborough in the flats, and it's good for 5 yards and no more. Good solid tackle over there by Greg Piskapink, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, once again, a good bit of defense by the Hawks as they give up the 5-yard play. Anytime you stop Shannon Scarborough one-on-one out there when he has the ball, you've done a good job. Once again, he's 6'3" and 225 pounds. Got the ball with a little bit of running room. Good defensive position, good tackle technique by the Hawks, and he stopped with the 5-yard gain.
Scarborough will punt, standing back at his own 33-yard line. Deep for Harrison. Roy Granger. This one will go to Dan Height. Height across the 25. Good run back to near the 35-yard line, where Harrison will start 1st and 10 with 4:53 to work with here 1st half. Return of about 15 yards by Dan Height.
Well, a good bit of cutback running. Height able to set up his blockers out in front by running in one direction, getting the defense to chase him in that direction, letting his offensive blockers get in position, then does the cutback, heads back the other way, sets up the blocks. Good return that time by the Hawks.
1st down 10 Harrison. Little end around to Height. Hit once and twice, stays on his feet at midfield and cutting back. Great run of 19 yards by Dan Height.
Well, finally brought down by Ken Couture for the Chiefs. Dan Height showing us that cutback running once again. Here he stumbles, runs out of a tackle. Watch him playing with the outside foot now and then come back inside. Boom, right there. Good cut right there. Causes a couple of people to miss. Finally brought down. Ken Couture on the tackle.
1st and 10, Harrison. Granger again, big hole. Turns on the speed and knocked out of bounds at the 21.
Boy, run out of bounds by Tom Cheboygan on the sidelines as Cheboygan comes up limping a little bit himself as he finally catches up with Roy Granger on the sidelines. This is that little play that comes off tackle inside the end, but then dips outside. And there you see a good bit of angle pursuit by Tom Cheboygan as he forces Roy Granger out of bounds.
Some yards on the carry by Roy Granger. And a timeout is called by Cheboygan. Jack Kuhn has seen enough, and with 4:03 to play here first half, wants to talk to his defense, figure out some way to stop Farmington Hills Harrison before this game gets out of hand.
Well, the Chiefs have been unable to answer offensively, and as we mentioned, as we described this ball game at the outset, the Chiefs' strong point this year has been the strong offense that has been able to put points on the board. Their defense has given up a lot of yards and has given up a lot of points all season long. But their offense has been able to keep pace, and that's why they have been as successful as they have. They're in danger right now as the Hawks get close to the goal line and going down by 21, and I don't think they're used to that. Their offense, as we said, very potent, but being down 21 against a really strong Harrison defense that averages just 6 points given up a ball game, that's asking them a big job here. That's asking a lot of an offense.
Well, here come the Hawks. 1st and 10. Oh, big stick that time by Scarborough on Roy Granger.
Well, once again, we call that same name, Shannon Scarborough, defensively just as potent as he is offensively. He's all over the place.
Well, Roy Granger went airborne, and that was perfect for Shannon Scarborough, who planted the feet, met him with the shoulder pads. Gain is 1. It'll be 2nd down 9. Granger again. Hit and taken down after a gain of only a couple. I saw number 63, Steve Kanicki, among others there defensively.
Well, I don't know what Coach Jack Kuhn said at that timeout, but he said something.
Well, he got him fired up.
I wonder if he said, now, fellas, we really ought to stop this team. Maybe a little stronger than that.
3rd down 6. Facing Harrison. Clock shows 2:55 and counting still to play first half. Andy Fitzpatrick, the quarterback, leads them up. Gonna throw. Sends it toward the end zone, incomplete. Intended there for Matt Gordon. Tell you what, Roy Granger was all by himself at the 10-yard line.
Well, Matt Gordon was open himself for quite a while. One of the defensive backs, I didn't catch the number, see if we can get it right here, but gets over late, but finally gets there, and just at the last minute, it's number 22, Jeremy Beauchamp. Whoop! That was almost 6.
4th down 6, and I think we'll get the field goal try. Number 10, Ben Pinsky is on. This would be a 35-yarder. It's out of the hold of quarterback Andy Fitzpatrick. It's a fake. Pressure's coming. Fitzpatrick gets away from one man, loops it toward the end zone, incomplete. Batted down, I think, by number 81, Brady Hebert.
Well, credit some defense that time by the Chiefs as they are not fooled by the fake. A good bit of pressure put on quarterback Andy Fitzpatrick, and then he just can't seem to find anybody open. And who do you think is coming down his throat? Shannon Scarborough and the defensive backs right where they belong. Good coverage, double coverage out there on the intended receiver.
It is Brady Hebert who gets a hand on the football, knocks it down. And whatever the speech was by Jack Kuhn, it works. They stop Farmington Hills Harrison. and get the football back. They'll start 1st and 10 at their own 18-yard line. Tom Tryban, the junior quarterback, lost the football on the snap. And Scarborough covers it.
Oh, boy, that could have been disaster to give the Hawks the ball that quick offensively once again with that kind of field position after that great defensive stand. That could have been disaster, but the Chiefs will hang on to it. They need to move the ball, Mark. They got to string some plays together here offensively.
Second down, still 10 facing Cheboygan. Scarborough busts into the open, will carry all the way out to the 49-yard line. Gain of 31 yards by Shannon Scarborough.
Well, Dante Anderson is the only guy that's able to catch up with Shannon Scarborough. Scarborough, despite the size, doesn't look like he's going real fast, but he has got great speed, Mark. Dante Anderson is quick, and he could just barely, with an angle, catch up with Scarborough.
1st and 10. 1:35 still to play before the half. Fumble. And I think Beauchamp managed to cover it.
Well, the good bounce as the handoff went right to Jeremy Beauchamp, and he just dribbles the ball, comes up off this artificial carpet right here, right back up into his arms. He's able to just grab a hold of it, pick up a few yards as well.
Makes 2 yards. You're right. 2nd down 8. Clock shows 1:05 still to play here in this first half. Cheboygan has 2 timeouts left if they want to try and make a run at the end zone. 5 or 6 yards for Jeremy Beauchamp. It'll be 3rd down and about 3. Just a moment ago, I would have guessed that Jack Kuhn and Cheboygan would have been happy just to get to the locker room at 14-0, but that big 31-yard run by Shannon Scarborough perhaps changed their mind. Well, 3rd down 3, half a minute to play.
They're an offensive-minded club, Mark, so I'm sure they're thinking points.
Not anymore, as it's only a 1-yard gain by Scarborough. It'll be 4th down. And they may opt to go ahead and let time run off the clock here. Down now to 10 seconds left here. And they call timeout with 6 seconds left, so Cheboygan can run one play and heave it toward the end zone perhaps if they choose to.
Well, maybe we will see that Hail Mary. Once again, our helmet cam as you get a shot at the chief huddle out there.
That's what things would look like if you were standing on the Cheboygan sideline right now. Scarborough now 6 carries, 61 yards, in addition to a fantastic first half defensively. He is all over the field. 14-0 is our score. Harrison leads. 51-yard touchdown run by Roy Granger in the first quarter. A 1-yard TD crash by Mike Pacey and a 2-pointer by quarterback Andy Fitzpatrick. The second score came in the second quarter. And that's where we are, 14-0. John Harrington, I'm sure, telling his club, let's just play prevent, get everybody back and make sure they don't score. Cheboygan lining up in their typical wing tee, so not the Hail Mary 3-receiver look. Going to be a screen, I think. They finally send it downfield. It's complete for a 3 or 4 yard gain to Shannon Scarborough, but time has expired. We have reached halftime at the Silverdome. Harrison 14, Cheboygan nothing. You will enjoy the bands at halftime and then a great second half of football.
with Kevin Overtaylor. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. For your halftime entertainment, the Cheboygan Music Department would like to present the Cheboygan Marching Chiefs. This 85-member group is made up of students in grades 9 through 12. The Marching Chiefs recently represented Cheboygan at the Northern Michigan University Band Day in the brand new Upper Dome. The band is under the direction of Michelle Pike. The color guard is under the instruction of Colleen Malloy, with the color guard feature designed and taught by Steve Chase. Chris Jarbonneau is this year's percussion instructor. The band repertoire includes Trailblazers, featuring Laura Zoir and Lauren Barnes on solo trumpet, the Cheboygan Chief War Chant, featuring the percussion section, and the Cheboygan Fight Song. Drum majors Gretchen Kaufman and Mike Teddet, you may take the field in exhibition.
185 to 100 in favor of Harrison. And you are right, Bill. From the Silver Dome in Pontiac, 14-0. Our halftime score. Harrison leads Cheboygan by 2 TDs. I'm Mark Crawford, joined by Bill Brandell. And it will be Harrison, as you recall, that won the coin toss to start the game, opted to receive the football, so Cheboygan gets the choice here, Bill. Half number 2, and they want the football. They need the football.
Well, they need to get started here quick, as they're only 14 points down. That's certainly not anything to say we're out of this ball game, especially with all of the points that they've been known to put on the board so far this year. But they need to get it started. Harrison obviously will put more points on the board in the second half. So the Chiefs need to answer here in a hurry.
Beauchamp carries it across the 30 to near the 31-yard line, and that's where Cheboygan will start. 1st and 10. A fast look at the halftime stats shows you that Farmington Hills Harrison 10 first downs to Cheboygan's 4. Harrison has rushed for 185 yards, Cheboygan 100. Total yards 196 to 103, almost 2-1 the advantage for Harrison over Cheboygan. On the scoreboard, a 2-touchdown lead. Harrison 14, Cheboygan nothing. Tom Triban, number 15, the junior quarterback, leads them up. Beauchamp and Scarborough behind him. Dive back is Shannon Scarborough, and he will plow his way forward for about 4 yards out to the 35.
Well, Shannon Scarborough pounding once again up the middle. This is exactly how he started in the first half. He's been effective up in there. He's gained some nice yards. What the Chiefs have to do is string some of that offense together here and end up with the ball in the end zone. Get those 6 points up on the scoreboard.
Scarborough 7 carries, 65 yards on the ball game. This time it's number 22, Jeremy Beauchamp, and he is near the first down sticks. First down marker is at the 41, and they will place the football just across the 40, so it's 3rd down and about half a yard.
Kind of an interesting defensive alignment by the Hawks. They take their nose man, number 72, Leon Jefferson, back him off the ball. He's almost into a linebacker position, but he's down. I believe that he's reading Shannon Scarborough. Wherever Scarborough goes, he's going to go.
Flags fly on 3rd and very short. Somebody perhaps lined up in the neutral zone.
I think this will go against the Hawks. It looked to me like one of the down linemen had his hand into that neutral zone, and of course that's just automatic. No play can be run. The whistles blow, the flags fly, and that's a free 5 yards for the Chiefs.
And a free first down for Cheboygan. They'll go 1st and 10 now from their own 46. Jack Kuhn in his 4th year as head football coach at Cheboygan. John Harrington his 21st year at Farmington Hills Harrison. Both very successful. Kuhn has had his club into the playoffs all 4 years he's been head coach. Right side Beauchamp is hit hard after a gain of 2 or 3. Tackle is made by Mike Gletchner, number 39, and watch Beauchamp go backwards here on the hit.
Boom.
Textbook tackle right there, wrapping the arms around the legs and driving the ball carrier backward. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Crowd very quiet here as we get set to start second half. Nobody quite sure what to expect. Dive back was Shannon Scarborough. Managed to pick up a couple of 2 yards out to about midfield before he is driven back. I think it was Mike Pacey, the 205-pound senior linebacker, on the stop. And they will mark the nose of the football right on the 50-yard stripe. It'll be 3rd down and 6, a big 3rd down for Cheboygan. As Bill mentioned, the Chiefs need to march this football down to pay dirt. Little noise now from the Cheboygan faithful trying to urge their club on. Wing T to the left. Cheboygan will keep and will get only about a yard.
Well, that play just a little slow to develop as quarterback Tom Cheboygan comes to the outside. Something just not right on target as he dips in, dips out, trying to find some place to go, but the play just slow to develop, gave the defense a chance to recover, and there ended up being just no place to go, and the Chiefs are going to be forced into the punt.
Pacey again on the tackle for Farmington Hills Harrison, having a good game defensively, has a touchdown run as well. And on 4th and a long 5, Scarborough will punt. Kind of a low liner, will one hop to Granger. And Granger has about a 10 or 11 yard return, and simply tackling Granger gets a big round of applause from Cheboygan. Shane Cannell makes the stop for the Cheboygan Chiefs.
Well, it's a victory to stop that young man when he has the open field. If you can get a hand on him, you're lucky. And Shane Cannell that time able to not only get a hand on, but a shoulder. Put a nice tackle on him, dropped him to the turf. The Hawks will start at their own 19.
Roy Granger, 15 carries, 158 yards in the first half. And let's see second half. Runs out of one tackle, spins away from another, and finds himself about 5 yards on the carry.
Well, we've been talking about how fun to watch this Roy Granger is. In that particular situation, he gets to the outside. Watch the legs keep pumping as the defense will make contact right here. Look at the legs go. Look at the legs pump. Just rips himself out of the tackle, spins, and is able to pick up an extra 5 yards.
2nd down 5 for Harrison. The Hawks trying to complete an unbeaten season and grab a state title. Granger has a couple of more where there seemed to be no hole right up the middle. Carries to about the 27 where it's 3rd down and a long 2. Bob Dykeman, number 72, was there to make the stop for Cheboygan. Well, both these clubs with terrific turnover ratios during the regular season, but we haven't seen a turnover yet in this game, have we? Cheboygan plus 17, Harrison plus 13 coming in. Granger again on the carry, 1st down, and maybe the whole bundle. 73 yards, Roy Granger, the touchdown, and it's 20-0 Harrison.
Well, once again, it's like instant replay. Roy Granger, he'll take this pitch. He gets it back behind his 2 lead backs. They just peel an opening for him right there. A great bit of blocking. Excellent running by Roy Granger, of course, to make that opening and get to that opening quick. And once he gets there, he just heads to the sidelines and outruns the final defender. Takes that little peek back over his shoulder, steps into the end zone. Another 6 on the board for the Hawks.
18 carries, 239 yards for Roy Granger. And we've still got 5:55 to play in the 3rd quarter. And the record in a state championship game, Bill, in case you wonder, 278 yards by one of your University of Michigan young men, Kerry Smith, when he played at Grand Rapids Forest Hills Northern back in 1978.
Well, we can begin to magnify what we said to begin this second half, Mark. There's just no doubt that the Hawks of Farmington Hills Harrison are going to put points on the board. If you want to play with them, you have to get your offense in gear, and you have to get some points on the board against them. And so far, the Chiefs just have been unable to do that. They have shown us some offense. They rushed for 100 yards or better in that first half, but they just have not put the ball into the end zone. They've got that big goose egg up there, and they are 21 points down. So once again, in a position where they're going to have to do something quick. I think we had some type of a flag on the extra point, Mark, and I think we're going to see a penalty marked off here to begin this possession with the kickoff here following the touchdown. They're going to get 15 yards marked off against the Chiefs, I believe. Boy, they don't need that.
Well, that would mean that Harrison will kick off from the Cheboygan 45. The conventional wisdom right here, Bill, would be to onside kick.
Well, it is, or at least to kick the ball down and kick it ugly, as obviously to just kick it into the end zone doesn't do a whole lot for you. That would give the Chiefs possession of the ball at about the 20. So it'll be interesting to see just exactly what the Hawks do if they try to take advantage of this kickoff position. They will kick it off from the Cheboygan 45-yard line. An illegal participation we hear from our public address announcer. I didn't see the signal, but that's a 15-yard penalty. I did see the flag, but very late after the extra point had already been kicked and signaled good. The flag came out quite late.
Ben Pinsky will boot it away for Farmington Hills Harrison and sends it high and into the end zone. And in high school football here in Michigan, you have no option. When the football goes into the end zone, it's an automatic touchback, and will come out to the 20. Well, do or die time for the Cheboygan Chiefs. They trail 21-0 with 5:55 still to play third quarter. Lots of time. The difficulty for Cheboygan, as you've been saying, Bill, is that it's obvious Farmington Hills Harrison is going to score some more points. And if you're Cheboygan, you got to get yourselves going here and get some points on the board.
Well, you can possibly stop the Hawks once in a while. It's not as though they necessarily will score every possession, but they are very potent and have shown the ability to score quick.
6 men down on the line of scrimmage for Harrison now on first down. Dive back, Scarborough does not get back to the line of scrimmage. Jason Gletchner, number 75, the 250-plus pound senior, makes the stop.
Boom, you can see that Gletchner just warded off the block by Jamie Swanson and was able to just meet Shannon Scarborough right in the hole, and that was a standoff as the ball stopped right there. Ends up being a loss on the play. The Chiefs will have it second and about 11.
At the end of the first half, Cheboygan, I think, tried to run a screen. Maybe we'll see that play again here at some point. They'll loop it downfield, going to be incomplete. Intended for Dennis Proctor. Took a little hit from a Harrison player, and the ball was out of his reach and out of bounds anyway. I think it'll be third down 11 already facing Cheboygan.
Well, quarterback Tom Triband, a good bit of faking inside. Tries to find Proctor over there on the sidelines. Jeff Sislow defensively right there as well, but the ball thrown over the head of the receiver and out of bounds.
Third down 11, possession play for Cheboygan. And this time they'll start in the little wing tee. Dive back is Scarborough. He'll pick up 5 or 6 yards out to near the 25, but won't be near enough. Stop is made by Mike Pacey again, number 32. It'll be fourth down. Scarborough 10 carries, 71 yards right now in the ball game.
Well, the Chiefs 1, 2, 3 and out here offensively. We used to call that the rumba offense, right? 1, 2, 3 kick.
Scarborough will punt, stands back at his own 15. Height and Granger are waiting the punt. Very high, good kick. Granger at the 40, sidesteps one player and he's loose. Goodness, finally brought down at the 45 of Cheboygan.
Well, we have said it before, but that guy just plain scary. There was a freight train coming here when he caught the ball. He just turned sideways and let the train go by. Then he decides to leave the station himself. Great balance, great lateral movement. Still got that streamer flying too. I still got to figure out what that is.
I think he lost the streamer on his backside. He did. He's got one on the front that's a little shorter now. Fitzpatrick to throw. Home run ball. Complete. Touchdown. Greg Piskapink from Andy Fitzpatrick. 45 yards. The TD. Harrison out front, 27-0.
Holy moly, just that quick. Quarterback Andy Fitzpatrick. Nice fake inside. Allows his receiver to get deep behind the defensive backs. Greg Piskapink takes advantage of beating the defense. Outstretches those arms on full stride. Draws in the pass from Andy. Puts another 6 points up on the board for the Hawks. Things are not looking good for the Chiefs right now.
Extra point is drilled through by Ben Pinsky. 28-0 Harrison. Still 3:39 to play third quarter.
Well, getting more and more difficult all the time as we keep mentioning the offensive plays that the Hawks can throw at you. They have so many different weapons. Once again, here you'll see quarterback Andy Fitzpatrick throws it in the air to Piskapink. About 40 yards in the air, and Piskapink on the dead run, just able to draw it in and take it into the end zone. What a great connection. Put 6 points on the board, and obviously the Chiefs just have to keep their defense off the field. They have to maintain some offense here and keep the ball. They just cannot afford to go 3 plays and out.
Boy, a club is awfully tough when they can send Roy Granger at you time after time from the tailback spot and then have a quarterback deliver to a wide receiver on the dead run 40 yards downfield like that. Beautiful play. And Harrison stretches the lead to 4 touchdowns. Pinsky's boot will be fielded on the fly at the 20. And driven to the ground is Jeremy Beauchamp as he crosses the 25 and out near the 28. Big hit that time by Harrison's Rip Wolf.
I have to credit the entire team of Farmington Hills Harrison, Mark. All parts of the game excellent. Their kicking game, their special teams are right on top of things. They have a great defense, and just obviously their offense can strike like lightning at any time, both by way of the rush and the pass. But the best thing you can do defensively against them is to keep your own offense on the field.
Cheboygan runs a little quick pitch left side. A yard or two. That time they tried sending Shannon Scarborough to the right. And pitching left to Jeremy Beauchamp. They'll mark his forward progress at the 30, a gain of 1. 2nd and 9.
Well, defensively, the Hawks right where they belong. Mike Pacey over there to help on the stop. Defensive end, Rip Wolf over there to help contain, slow things down a little bit. Cornerback, Roy Granger. He's out there. How are you going to get around him? He's got such quick feet.
The Chiefs have found very little that would work. They dive to their big guy, and there are nothing but white jerseys there as Shannon Scarborough tries to bull forward. And he might make half a yard, but that's all. And just that quickly, Cheboygan looking at 3rd down, still about 9. And in danger of having to punt the ball back to Farmington Hills Harrison again.
And on that last play, once again, Leon Jefferson from his nose position backed off the line of scrimmage, just kind of peeks up and finds Shannon Scarborough and says, Shannon, I'll meet you at the line of scrimmage. Where you go, I go.
Well, folks who play the Detroit Lions often talk about we're going to stop Barry Sanders first. That is option number 1, and we're going to stop him and he won't beat us. And it appears that Harrison is saying Shannon Scarborough's not going to beat us. Somebody else may, but Shannon Scarborough won't. That's Beauchamp. Gain is 5 or 6 on 3rd down, but it's 4th down, still 3. And punt time again for Cheboygan.
Well, the Chiefs find themselves in that unenvious position once again. They're going to have to kick the ball away. It does not take the Hawks long to score once they get their hands on it. And the ever dangerous weapon standing at the 33-yard line waiting to receive the ball once again, Roy Granger.
Harrison would appear to be looking for a fake here. They have 5 players reading. They don't get a fake. Scarborough delivers to Granger, who lost the handle and fell right at the 35.
Well, one of the few times that we've seen Roy Granger stop, and this time he stops himself as he really starts to run before he actually caught the ball. I think he saw a lot of running room out there in front of him this time and was trying to get started just a little quicker than he should have, and ends up tripping himself, and the Hawks will start at their own 35-yard line.
1st and 10 for Harrison. Andy Fitzpatrick with Haney and Granger behind him. Granger, big hole up the middle. Carries for 13 or 14 more out near the midfield stripe.
Steve Konecki on the stop from his linebacker position. Nice door opens up once again for Roy Granger right up the middle. He picks him up and lays him down. Ross, we got a total on his yardage? 253. Holy mackerel.
Record in a championship game again is 278 by Kerry Smith. And the 3rd quarter has come and gone. Is history 28-0. Harrison leads Cheboygan. And Bill, while we have just a moment, we want to mention one of the unique programs of the Michigan High School Athletic Association here at the finals that both you and I think a lot of, the Good Sports Are Winners Award. The school exhibiting the best sportsmanship at the finals receives a crystal trophy, a banner, and a $1,000 award from True Value, the Good Sports Are Winners Award.
Well, that's one of the really excellent and unique programs that the Michigan High School Athletic Association has instituted. It's a program that's going to foster schools to get behind their young men in athletics, get communities to come out and support all of the athletic teams in their different schools. In this case, this award is one of those that's going to be shared by the fans and by the players. It's not an award just for sportsmanship on the field, but it's for sportsmanship by those that come and follow the teams, by the cheerleaders, by the band. The whole community in general will be judged, and that award will be given a couple of weeks from now after everything is reviewed and these championships have been in the books for a couple of weeks.
And while we were talking, folks at home enjoyed one of the 3rd quarter highlights, that 45-yard touchdown pass Fitzpatrick to Piscopink. 1st and 10 Harrison. It'll be 1st and 15 Harrison. Following the flags, 12 minutes still to play. We head into the 4th quarter. And the Cheboygan Chiefs are looking for a miracle here. They trail 28-0.
Well, as we broke there at the quarter, you saw the Chiefs on the sidelines with their hands and fingers raised, signifying the 4th quarter, kind of a tradition on their team that they never give up. It's 4th quarter, and the 4th quarter belongs to them. Well, they need a big one, I'll tell you.
Boy, they do. 1st and 15. Dive back is Haney. Bounces off one player, and Haney has the 1st down and then some. 18 yards on the carry by Chad Haney, the 205-pound senior.
Well, a moment ago we saw the little illegal procedure call against the Hawks. You might want to save that one. We want an instant replay on something that you may not be able to find another mistake from this ball club. They have been letter perfect.
Boy, they have played well. 1st down 10. Granger goes in motion. They'll throw the little pass in the flats to Height. Flags go down as Height is forward for about 7 yards.
Well, and just like that, the flag flies out of there, and we'll have an illegal block, a crackback block by the Hawks that time. So I put the jinx on them, saying they haven't made any mistakes. That's going to be a big one right there. That'll march them back quite a ways.
Will be marked from the point of the infraction. You see Phil Long, our referee, make the call. Football all the way back to the 49-yard line, where it will be first down and about 22. Haney and Granger behind Andy Fitzpatrick. 2 wideouts to the top side of the screen. Granger dances through players and may take this one
could
all
be
the way.
gone again.
They're going to mark him out of bounds at the 9. 40 yards on the carry by Granger. That's a new record in a state championship game. 293 yards on 20 carries.
Boy, and we've got almost a quarter to go. Let's watch once again as Roy Granger does a little hippity hop to get through the line of scrimmage, heads to the outside once again, picks up a little block, and then just turns the jets on once again, streaks down the sideline. One of the officials right there marks right where his foot just happened to catch that white paint over there. He took it on into the end zone, but had stepped out of bounds at about the 8-yard line.
Harrison leads 28-0. They're threatening again. Power I formation. And Andy Fitzpatrick shouts something back to his team. Will throw. Receiver was held up, and now he's going to try and take it in himself, and is knocked out of bounds at the 1. John Johnson says officially 20 carries, 295, a record. Kerry Smith, the old record, 278 yards.
Well,
and
we're watching.
Roy Granger may get a 300-yard game.
We're watching Andy Fitzpatrick kind of roll back as though we were looking for a receiver. Nobody came open, and it really didn't look like the receivers downfield were looking for the ball. But Fitzpatrick then tucks the ball, heads for the corner, cannot quite get it into the end zone. He's knocked out of bounds at about the 1.5-yard line. It will bring up a 2nd and goal.
The Cheboygan Chiefs have taken a timeout with 10:41 still to play here at the Silverdome. Class BB state championship game. Harrison 28, Cheboygan nothing, and Harrison knocking on the door. Defensively, one other time, Jack Kuhn, the head coach from Cheboygan, called a timeout, and his team stiffened, but they were not nearly in the kind of trouble they're in right now. 2nd down and goal from the 2.
Well, with that 28 points up there on the scoreboard, and of course the ball sitting at about the 1.5-yard line, the Hawks are right on schedule. They've been averaging 35 points in each of their ball games so far this year, so they're right on schedule. The big difference in the ball game, obviously, is on the offensive side for the Chiefs, as they were averaging 31 points coming into this contest, and they have 3 goose eggs up there in the first 3 quarters, and have not had the ball yet in the 4th quarter, but they just have been shut down by the Hawk defense.
Fitzpatrick gives off to Granger, who carries to about the 1. It'll be 3rd and goal.
Well, good stop defensively. Steve Kanicki was the one that got in there and finally got a hold of Roy Granger's legs, got both of them. I guess maybe that's the way you can stop him. Don't grab one leg because he'll pull it out of there. You've got to get them both.
3rd down goal for Farmington Hills Harrison. Into the end zone for the TD. Harrison's Mike Pacey.
Well, that's just good power by Mike Pacey as he took the ball right over center that time, went between the guard and the center area, had a defender right in front of him. Good solid contact by the defender, but Mike Pacey keeps his leg drive going and just drives himself plus the defender on into the end zone. 6 more on the board for the Hawks.
Pinsky's extra point is no good. And with 10:01 still to play, Harrison 35, Cheboygan nothing.
Scores 34-0 for Harrison.
Yep.
As that extra point was missed. Wide to the left side that time by Ben Pinsky.
That was giving him the free extra point. Well, we talked early on, Bill, about the Harrison offense getting the headlines, but the defense wins a lot of games for them, and your point well taken. Even though the Harrison offense has scored 34 points, the defense has really dominated out here and completely shut down the Chiefs.
Well, I know that the Chiefs side, I don't believe, had any kind of a drive at all in that third quarter. I think every time they had the ball offensively, it was maybe 3 plays and out. Did they get a first down, Ross? Maybe 1. And boy, that makes it hard on your defense. And obviously, you're not putting any points on the board. So we keep saying it over and over again. But offensively, the Chiefs have been very potent this year. They just have not been able to do it tonight against the Hawks.
Proctor takes it up the middle, is across the 30 to the 31. And Cheboygan will start 1st and 10 right there.
Well, I would guess that the Chiefs are going to have to go to the passing game. They have a good passing game. They throw the ball about 50% completion rate, does Tom Tryban. He's had 5 touchdowns at least by way of the pass.
I formation behind Tryban. Proctor now moves into the wing. And they'll look to throw. That's Proctor out in the flats, complete near midfield. Good little pass play of about 19 yards. 1st down, Cheboygan.
Well, that's the kind of yardage that the Chiefs need, and they need it in a hurry. The complete pass, about a 19-yard gain. The receiver goes out of bounds. That stops the clock, and the clock obviously a factor now. You're down by 34 points. You not only need to score, but score a lot. You need to score in a hurry.
I think you're holding out hope that even the most stoic of Cheboygan fans wouldn't hold out right now. Dive back is powerful Shannon Scarborough, and he carries for 6 or 7 yards on 1st down. It'll be 2nd and 3. That's really what's been missing for Cheboygan tonight, Bill, and that is a big gain on 1st down. They've been held to a yard or 2 on 1st down, and that changes the entire complexion of your offense.
Well, that's a great point, Mark. It does, as when you can get the big yardage on 1st down, then you have lots of weapons, and the defense cannot just set back and wait and look for one particular type of play. They have to be ready for everything, and that makes your offense just that more effective.
2nd down 3. Scarborough again has the 1st down, carries to the 35. Good strong run of 8 yards by Shannon Scarborough.
Mike Pacey over to make the stop once again from his linebacker position, but Shannon Scarborough bounces off a tackler, bounces off another tackler, puts his hand down, bounces off another tackler, finally reaches the boundary mark, falls out of bounds, but a nice gain for Shannon Scarborough.
Scarborough would have to be getting close to 100 yards on the game. 1st and 10, Cheboygan. Scarborough will carry again. Spins forward for about 5. Mike Pacey makes the stop. Scarborough ran out of the tailback spot that time.
Well, you have to find a way to get that young man the ball. He's an excellent carrier of the ball. We mentioned earlier, well over 2,000 yards coming into this ball game, 25 touchdowns. You got to find a way to get it to him, so you put him at tailback, you throw it to him, kick it to him, do anything you want to it, get him the ball.
89 yards on the evening's work for Shannon Scarborough. And Cheboygan is driving. Keeper by quarterback Tom Tryban, and boy, he is stormed under. Mike Pacey leading the charge. Greg Piskapink was there as well. Going to be a loss of a yard or two. It's 3rd down and 6.
Well, a little bit of the option play by Tom Tryban this time as he comes down the line of scrimmage, fakes to the dive man, sees a little hole, but just cannot get to the outside as Mike Pacey gets over there from the linebacker spot. Roy Granger, coming from his cornerback position, also closes it off. He's the guy in charge of contain on that side. Just no place to go.
Hasn't Roy done enough tonight without playing defense?
God, did he buy a ticket to get in here tonight or not?
3rd down, 6. Little counter inside, and Beauchamp picks up 2, but it's 4th down and still a long 4. Little choice for Cheboygan, but to go for it here, trailing 34-0, final 7 minutes of the game.
Well, obviously they have nothing to lose. They're in good field position right here, and they simply want to hang on to the ball, give their defense a little bit of a rest, and obviously put some points on the scoreboard themselves.
They'll go. 4th and 4 from the Farmington Hills Harrison 30. Scarborough will run, leans forward, but won't get there.
I don't think he made it, Mark. No, a good bit of last-second effort there by Scarborough as he tried to drive forward for the 1st down, but just simply could not get there. I have a feeling we're going to see some new names and some new numbers out there on the field as this Farmington Harrison squad has pretty much sacked this one in the win column in another state championship. We're going to have to go to our programs now in order to name people as we have a whole outfit out there of new players and new numbers.
Jeff Sislow is on to play quarterback, number 12. Gives to the dive back Chad Haney. And Haney spins for about 20 yards on 1st down.
Well, one of the beautiful things about the Harrison program is simply the fact that they have young men waiting on the sidelines for a chance to play. They get a chance to play in this one with more than 6 minutes to go, and they're eager to add their contribution to this state championship effort. There are a bundle of seniors on this squad as Farmington Harrison starts 10 seniors offensively and 10 defensively, so there'll be a new team out here next year, and some of those next year players are on the field right now.
On 1st down, Harrison tries left side. You think number 40, Tom Donagrande, the tailback, another senior. On the carry, picks up 2. You're right, it is Donagrande. Sislow will throw, guns it over the middle and incomplete.
Well, Sislow right on the money, looking for, I believe it's number 89 out there, Stephen Timblin. Goes right through his hands. There you see the ball delivered. He has to leap high in the air for it.
And it'll be 3rd down and 8 facing Harrison. 5:07 still to play in this one. Farmington Hills Harrison will win their 5th state championship. The Cheboygan Chiefs will have made it to their 1st final. And with a young club, will look to return next year. Sislow chased around and out of the pocket, delivers, it's complete. No, incomplete, say the officials. Looked for a moment like Key Smith caught the football and fumbled it, but the official right on top of the play says no, juggled it, incomplete. 4th down and punt time for Harrison.
Well, once again, here's the pass, and you'll see Key Smith. He gets his hands on the ball, begins to bring it down, but the official says he did not have control. Good call by the official as Smith was bringing it down, but really never had it securely in his possession. Then the defensive hit comes in, and the ball popped loose.
Harrison will punt. Key Smith sends it down to about the 15-yard line where Proctor returns 2 or 3 yards, and Cheboygan will start with not so good field position back at their own 18, 19-yard line with 4:43 to play. And what the Chiefs would like to do really is just manage to put some points on the board. They trail 34-0. Can't win the state championship, but still would be a great thrill for these young men to put some points on the board in the state championship game. And they've had a wonderful season just reaching this final. Would like to cap it off with something positive here at the Dome. Matt Horrocks, the senior center, number 53, leads him up. Tom Triban, the quarterback behind him. Off right side, it's Beauchamp. Has 2 or 3 yards. On the stop for Harrison, I think Fred Klotzer, number 50.
I also saw Mike Pacey in there, I believe.
Again. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Clock continues to move now. 3:50 and counting left to play in this one. Triban barks instructions both ways down the line of scrimmage. Will hand off to Beauchamp. Maybe another yard. Be interesting to see what Woody Robertson, our director, does in the way of choosing a highlight replay at the end of this one, Bill, as Farmington Hills Harrison provided him with lots of opportunities.
Well, I would bet that somewhere along it would have Groy Granger in there somewhere.
Might be right.
Most of the first-string defenders still in there for Harrison defensively right now. Fred Klotzer at an end, Jason Gletchner at a tackle. Leon Jefferson, the big nose man, is no longer there. Yes, he is. He's moved over to a tackle spot. To second guess myself here.
3rd down 4 facing Cheboygan. Scarborough busts into the open. Around one man, shows good speed and will be marked out of bounds at the 48-yard line. Scarborough's going to take it all the way, but he was down back at the 48.
Well, that's too bad. That was a great effort by Shannon Scarborough, but our officials right on the spot where he stepped out of bounds, and obviously have the best look at it. But Shannon Scarborough goes right off tackle, then heads for the outside, gets over to the sideline. Got that good speed we talked about earlier, turns the jets on, and we'll see if we can spot right where there it is, and obviously out of bounds. Good call by our officials. Shannon continues on down the field, and he'll be disappointed until he sees this tape, sees where he stepped out, but he obviously just 1 foot completely out of bounds over there on the sidelines.
16 carries, 109 yards. And I'll tell you, surprising speed for a guy 6'3" and 2 1/4. Young man can motor.
Well, he is being recruited by a lot of schools. He's a big-time back with that size and with that speed, and as you already mentioned, Mark, could possibly be a defensive player too in a Division I school, as we've seen him play both sides of the ball and be extremely effective defensively as well as offensively.
Beauchamp carries for 8 as the clock continues to count down. 2.5 still to play in this Class BB state championship game. Beauchamp 14 carries for 60 yards. The Chiefs are going to end up with something close to 200 yards rushing. 2nd down, about 2. Scarborough line of scrimmage and not much more as he meets a whole host of folks from Harrison, led by Mike Pacey and Leon Jefferson. And in a nice show of sportsmanship, they help Shannon Scarborough up.
Well, both teams with plenty of timeouts left up on the scoreboard, but the result of this game no longer in doubt. I think both teams will be content to continue to let the clock run, although obviously the Chiefs would love to get something up there on the scoreboard, get that 0 off of there.
Minute 20 still to play in this one. Tryban wants to throw, is forced out of bounds, chased out of the pocket by Rip Wolf.
Well, Tryban, looking downfield, just simply could not find a receiver that he felt was open. He elected to just pull the ball down and step out of bounds as he was pursued by Rip Wolf.
4th down 3. Obviously, Cheboygan. We had a wonderful season just reaching this final. Would like to cap it off with something positive here at the Dome. Matt Horrocks, the senior center, number 53, leads him up. Tom Tryban, the quarterback behind him. Off right side, it's Beauchamp. Has 2 or 3 yards. On the stop for Harrison, I think Fred Klotzer, number 50.
I also saw Mike Pacey in there, I believe.
Again. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Clock continues to move now. 3:50 and counting left to play in this one. Tryban barks instructions both ways down the line of scrimmage. Will hand off to Beauchamp. Maybe another yard. Be interesting to see what Woody Robertson, our director, does in the way of choosing a highlight replay at the end of this one, Bill, as Farmington Hills Harrison provided him with lots of opportunities.
Well, I would bet that somewhere along it would have Groy Granger in there somewhere.
Might be right.
Most of the first-string defenders still in there for Harrison defensively right now. Fred Klotzer at an end, Jason Gletchner at a tackle. Leon Jefferson, the big nose man, is no longer there. Yes, he is. He's moved over to a tackle spot. To second-guess myself here.
3rd down 4 facing Cheboygan. Scarborough busts into the open. Around one man, shows good speed, and will be marked out of bounds at the 48-yard line. Scarborough's going to take it all the way, but he was down back at the 48.
Well, that's too bad. That was a great effort by Shannon Scarborough, but our officials right on the spot where he stepped out of bounds, and obviously they have the best look at it. But Shannon Scarborough goes right off tackle, then heads for the outside, gets over to the sideline. Got that good speed we talked about earlier, turns the jets on, and we'll see if we can spot right where there it is, and obviously out of bounds. Good call by our officials. Shannon continues on down the field, and he'll be disappointed until he sees this tape, sees where he stepped out, but he obviously just 1 foot completely out of bounds over there on the sideline.
16 carries, 109 yards. And I'll tell you, surprising speed for a guy 6'3" and 2 1/4. Young man can motor.
Well, he is being recruited by a lot of schools. He's a He's a big-time back with that size and with that speed, and as you already mentioned, Mark, could possibly be a defensive player too in a Division I school, as we've seen him play both sides of the ball and be extremely effective defensively as well as offensively.
Beauchamp carries for 8 as the clock continues to count down. 2.5 still to play in this Class BB state championship game. Beauchamp 14 carries for 60 yards. The Chiefs are going to end up with something close to 200 yards rushing. Second down, about 2. Scarborough line of scrimmage and not much more as he meets a whole host of folks from Harrison, led by Mike Pacey and Leon Jefferson. And in a nice show of sportsmanship, they help Shannon Scarborough up.
Well, both teams with plenty of timeouts left up on the scoreboard, but the result of this game no longer in doubt. I think both teams will be content to continue to let the clock run, although obviously the Chiefs would love to get something up there on the scoreboard, get that 0 off of there.
Minute 20 still to play in this one. Triban wants to throw, is forced out of bounds, chased out of the pocket by Rip Wolf.
Well, Triban looking downfield just simply could not find a receiver that he felt was open. He elected to just pull the ball down and step out of bounds as he was pursued by Rip Wolf.
4th down 3. Obviously, Cheboygan will go. Football is resting on the 42-yard line of Farmington Hills Harrison. 1 minute and 13 seconds left to play. John Harrington and his Hawks of Harrison about to win their 5th state championship. First down yardage and then some. Scarborough down the sideline, banged out of bounds at the 2.
Well, once again, Shannon Scarborough runs the off-tackle hole to perfection as he hits to the off-tackle hole, then pops outside after he clears that initial line of scrimmage, heads for the sideline once again. All he has now is a defensive back that he has to outrun. Dante Anderson with the angle gets over there just before Shannon Scarborough can get to the end zone. But the Chiefs will have it at the 2-yard line with 1 minute and 4 on the clock.
149 yards now for Scarborough. He'll try and take it off left side, fights toward the end zone, is stopped inside the 1. And Cheboygan signaling a timeout with 50 seconds left in this one. Jack Kuhn, the head coach for Cheboygan, signals timeout, and he is going to give his young men an opportunity to score some points here in the Dome. Bill, let's talk at least briefly. Cheboygan, well, we've talked about what a great program Harrison has. Cheboygan has qualified for the playoffs 6 straight years. This is the farthest they've ever come. And while they will lose here this evening in this BB state championship game, it's an important step for their program.
Well, it is a big step for their program, and I believe we've already mentioned they're a very young team right now, as offensively they start 6 seniors, 5 juniors. Defensively, they start just 4 seniors, 5 juniors, and 2 sophomores. So they have a lot of these folks that are here today getting this valuable experience. They're going to be back. They'll be a threat again next year, Mark. I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see them not only qualify for the playoffs, but they'll have a shot at being right back here in the Dome again next year.
One big set of shoes they'd have to fill to get here, Shannon Scarborough. He will not be back. He's a senior.
Well, he's that 2,000-yard rusher, and you're right. To replace someone like that will not be an easy task.
Here we go, 2nd and goal for Cheboygan. Scarborough bangs toward the end zone and in. Shannon Scarborough, the 1-yard TD. Cheboygan on the board.
Well, Shannon Scarborough should get the touchdown. He deserves to get the touchdown as he's had an excellent game today. Let's just right straight ahead at that off-tackle position. Once again, you're kind of shielded by the official right there, but all the ball has to do is touch that white goal line, and Shannon Scarborough had enough forward momentum to get it in there. He didn't fall into the end zone, but he was able to penetrate that goal line, and that's all it takes. And the Chiefs get their 6 points up on the board.
And Shannon Scarborough gets a nice round of applause from the Cheboygan fans here on the near sideline as he comes out of the game. On for the extra point try is Jason Trahan. Drills it. And with 46 seconds left in this Class BB State Championship game, Harrison 34, Cheboygan 7.
Well, very fitting that the Chiefs are able to get on the scoreboard. They've had a fantastic season, and their offense has been particularly potent all season long. It would have been a shame for them to have to leave the Dome without anything offensively on the scoreboard. They get their 7 points, and they can be proud of their efforts this year. We'll see them kick off once again and have to give the ball back to Harrison, and you just never know when they get their hands on the ball. But this has been an excellent display of football by Harrison. And now we get a little recovery by the Chiefs, and I'm glad to see that, Mark.
In the ball game, Roy Granger and Dan Height deep for Harrison. I wouldn't be at all surprised if we didn't see a little onside here. Jason Trahan on the kick. And we'll kind of squib it up the middle. Takes a few hops and comes down to Height. And Height will be taken down at the 30 with half a minute still to play here. And I think we're going to get a few more fresh jerseys out here. Looks like Jeff Sislow will still be playing quarterback.
And defensively, the Chiefs giving a few young men a chance to step on the field in this state championship game here at the Dome.
Probably the final snap of the game here. 1st and 10. Sislow with the power I formation behind him. Hands off, some running room for Donagrande. And he'll gain about 10 yards out to the 40. They will stop the clock momentarily as they move the chains. And now start him up with 15 seconds left, and Harrison will not have to snap the football again.
I think they will be content to just let it run. And they are. And their fans begin to join in the celebration as the Hawks win the Class BB State Championship.
34-7 is your final score. Harrison defeats Cheboygan behind 295 yards rushing for Roy Granger. The 5'8", 155-pound senior sets a state record, 255 yards rushing. This was the first play from scrimmage in the ball game, and you got a little feeling about what might happen in this football game. Roy Granger goes 51 yards.
Well, this was like instant replay all night as we saw Roy Granger take the ball on this same kind of play 3 or 4 different times as he racked up close to that 300-yard mark. And that was just a thing of beauty. The first play from scrimmage, that set the tone. Roy Granger setting the tone for what he was going to do this whole night.
State title number 4 for John Harrington at Farmington Hills Harrison. His 189th victory in 22 years. And he can reach that exclusive 200 club next year if he could return to the Dome. Here's another of the highlight plays. Fitzpatrick to Piscopink, 45 yards.
Well, after all of that running by Granger, Andy Fitzpatrick steps back, throws about a 40-yarder to Piscopink, who's in just dead stride, takes the ball just beautifully over his shoulder on into the end zone. And the Hawks able to score by way of the air and by way of the ground. And they are just a very potent offensive squad and matching no slouch their defense as they hold the Chiefs to just 7 points tonight, and those 7 points coming right at the very end of this ball game.
Our congratulations to Farmington Hills Harrison, the unbeaten season 13-0, and to the Cheboygan Chiefs, who finished their season at 10-3. 6 consecutive playoff appearances for Cheboygan, young club, and perhaps they'll be back next year. Your state champions, Harrison 34, Cheboygan 7.
Cheboygan High School. Congratulations to the Cheboygan Chiefs on an outstanding season. And now, Mr. Doctor will present the Class 2B Championship Trophy to the Hawks of Farmington Hills Harrison. Accepting the championship trophy, Coach John Harrington. Congratulations to Farmington Hills Harrison, the 1991 Class 2B football champions.